What's up, guys? It's been a little over a month now since the 2024 Oscars happened, and I want to be more regular about the Oscar predictions this year, so why not start ridiculously early? So these are my very early predictions for the 2025 Oscars for the month of April. Since it's super early, I'm only going to do Best Picture, Best Director, the acting categories, and the screenplay categories. I don't think a lot of these will be staying. Some of them probably, but not a lot. So let's get into it. Okay, for Best Picture, it's Dune Part 2, Joker, Folie d'Or, also Joker 2, Blitz, Conclave, Megalopolis, Civil War, Sing Sing, The Piano Lesson, The Apprentice, Kinds of Kindness. So I think ones that are going to be on here till Oscars are going to be Dune 2, Joker 2. Yes, is there a lot of stats for a sequel to be recognized as much as the first one? Or in a series for one to get so awarded and then the next one to do just as well? No, usually it's like the sequel, or usually it's the final one, or usually it's just the first one. So for Joker 1 to get, Oscar wins and a bunch of nominations, people might be saying, is it going to happen twice? And I think what's in their favor is Lady Gaga, and instead of it kind of being like a Martin Scorsese movie, like Taxi Driver, King of Comedy, it's going to be like a La La Land and like a musical like that. So I think that's what kind of helps it have like a second life. A lot of the technical awards probably would want to recognize that there's Lady Gaga now, so it's not just like fawning over Walking Phoenix. Even if he's amazing in this, there's still the added level of there's this new thing now being Lady Gaga. And I mean, like, she's been pretty good with her roles that it's not like a hit or miss for her. Usually she delivers on her acting. Also, Doom Part 2, I think Doom Part 2 is the front runner, I think, until like more of the fall when like the like heavy hitter award season contenders usually drop. But Dune still might be the front runner after that. But I think Dune Part 2 really right now is like the quote unquote Oppenheimer for this year. Are they gonna go for another Oppenheimer for this year? I'm not sure, but I still think that's the front runner. Personally, I want to put Megapolis much higher because it's like Francis Ford Coppola's like new movie that they're calling like a masterpiece, and it's this game changing movie from what I've heard. But I've also heard and I've seen articles saying they're having a very hard time getting distributors. So like, is that because it's some people are not appreciating it or some people are not understanding it, or is it just going to get pushed to next year until they find a distributor? So that's why like you're going to see I don't have a lot of Megapolis, and if I do, they're in the bottom. Civil War can either get nominated a lot or it can get like Best Picture and maybe like one or two technical awards. And maybe in acting. It's Civil War is very up in the air right now. I think it has possibility of getting Best Picture. That's why I put it on my list. But because it has the audience and it has the box office draw. The critics are there. It's not as great as other Best Picture nominees, but they've had movies like Don't Look Up, which is rotten, and it still gets Best Picture nomination. So I do think how they handle their awards campaign is a very big thing of how like where it's going to go down the line. Um, I personally think it's going to be in the gets a lot of awards, maybe not wins, but gets a lot of nominations, and I think that's going to stir a lot of uproar. The Oscars always has some sort of like controversy. I feel like that could be this year's controversy is nominating a movie that like not everyone loves, but the people who love it, and you're gonna have its detractors up in arms of why it's nominated. Sing Sing I didn't have on here until recently about hearing some other people seeing it at some of the festivals, and they're saying it's very good. And it's not just a Best Actor, possibly Best Screenplay nomination. You'll see this movie is in a few of the other nominations that I have, predictions that I have. So, from what I heard, it's a very big. It's sort of a crowd pleaser. I don't know much about it, but I heard it's like a crowd pleaser, and like you've had previous years, especially with Coda and with Green Book, you've had crowd pleasers make it all the way to the end, winning Best Picture. Two other ones I kind of want to like touch upon are The Apprentice and Kinds of Kindness. Kinds of Kindness, it's coming out in the summer, which isn't a prime awards season release date, but the Oscars do love Yorgos Lanthimos with The Favorite and and Poor Things recently winning. Both have won, and both have been nominated a lot in their years. I don't know if Kinds of Kindness is going to lean towards those two or more of like The Lobster and Killing of the Sacred Deer that really didn't get recognized. Um, and since Emma Stone just won, and it was nominated for a bunch of stuff. I don't know if they want to kind of like repeat that the very next year. So we're gonna have, unless it's like amazing, I feel like it could fall off this list very easily. And The Apprentice. The Apprentice could go the Vice way, where it got a lot of nominations, or it could go more of like it's just a political movie that sort of just couldn't get it right, and not just political movie, but like based on a political figure where they're trying. I mean, it's about Donald Trump, so they're definitely going to be trying to make a message or have a point to the movie. And I feel like sometimes it just not all those types of movies land as well as others. So as of right now, it's premiering in Cannes, and so after that it would be better to see. But as of right now, it's leaning like it might get like maybe an acting and maybe Best Picture. Like it might get one, instead of getting a bunch, like Vice did. Because if it goes more of the Vice route, it's gonna be like the main three are gonna get Sebastian Stan, Jeremy Strong, Emilia Bakavova are gonna get it, plus Screenplay. See, but here's the thing. Actually, now that I'm thinking about my list, I think it's probably good. It's not gonna get that much because I just feel like it's a very fine line this movie has to toe. But at the same time, I do feel like the subject matter might get people. It's a very popular subject matter of people talking about Donald Trump, so it might go over just as well as Vice did. So I kind of have it in the middle right now. We'll talk about it in a few seconds when I get to the other categories. Best Director: Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2, Steve McQueen for Blitz, Edward Berger for Conclave, Todd Phillips Joker 2, Francis Ford Coppola Megapolis. As of right now, these are the ones I just kind of see as the front runners. Denis Villeneuve, out of these, are the only ones that have released something. But based off Joker 1's history, I can see Todd Phillips getting in there. I've heard Blitz is very good, so I can see Steve McQueen getting in there. Edward Berger came off of All Quiet on the Western Front. People love that movie at the Oscars. And I'm hearing this movie is... I've heard the book is very good. I heard they adapted it very well. So we're going to have to wait and see for that one. And like I said, Francis Ford Coppola... it's Francis Ford Coppola. Like, I feel like you have to put him on the list. But if they don't get, like, if this movie just doesn't work out and it gets pushed next year or something big happens with this movie, not in a good way, it could fall off this list. So that's why I feel like I have to put him in, but it's at the bottom. Best Actor: Colman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker 2, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, Timothée Chalamet for Dune Part 2. So the acting ones are kind of hard because, like, you can hear a movie's good, but, like, you really don't know someone's performance until, like, more people start to see it and start talking about it. So as of right now, Colman Domingo, people have seen, they say, like, he's coming for his second Oscar nomination and possibly a win. So right now I have him as the front runner. Ralph Fiennes, I've heard, like I said, Concave was very good, and you'll see it in a few more of my other nominations for predictions. And the cast is kind of stacked, so I think that's also... This movie has a lot of things in their favor. Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar for Joker, so I just feel like he has to be at least nominated for Joker 2, even if, like, Lady Gaga is the bigger and better thing for this one. And like I said, Sebastian Stan, I feel like he has the most riding on it, so if he pulls this off with Donald Trump and his kind of, like, not making it too comedic like other performances have been, and kind of towing that line of, like, serious but funny, because he's just kind of a easily caricatured public figure, to say it lightly, that I think he has the most riding for him. And so I think if he pulls it off, he can definitely get a nomination. And my big thing with Dune Part 2 is I feel like it could be this year's Oppenheimer and be as big as Oppenheimer if they can get into the acting categories, which I think they have two chances of their best bet. Like two performances have their best chances of getting into the acting categories, and I do think Timothée Chalamet is one of them. For me, he really led this movie, and his performance was very good. The only thing I can see bad about Dune 2 is like they're like, oh, there's a third one coming out, and it could be like Spider-Verse, but I don't think Dune 2 is going to be like that because they're saying this is one of the best movies of all time. So I don't think it's going to get snubbed for many other things except for acting. But if it can get acting, I do think Timothée Chalamet has one of the two best chances. And it is a kind of highlight of his career right now. Like this is like, I feel like showing the best of his acting performances. Like I said, for a lot of the acting also, um, there's a lot of acting coming out this year, and we don't really know the extent of it yet because we're literally a month out, a little over a month out from the last Oscars, so we still have a lot of time. So the acting is going to change significantly. So just keep that in mind. And actually, all these nominations probably going to change significantly, except for a few. So just keep that in mind when you watch this video. So Best Actress: Lady Gaga, Joker 2, Jessica Lange, Long Day's Journey into Night, Saoirse Ronan, Blitz, Angelina Jolie, Maria, and Zendaya, Challengers. That last spot can go to a lot of people this year that I've seen. Just to put one out there: Amy Adams, Uzo Aduba, Emma Stone. There's a lot of performances that could take that fifth spot, but right now I'm doing Zendaya because from the early reviews of Challengers, they are saying she is a like dominating force in this movie, and like shows that she is going to be a movie star or is a movie star. And I do think that could lead to an Oscar nomination. Lady Gaga, like I've been saying, I think she's had a pretty good track record, with her performances getting Oscar nominations. And also, this is a musical element, and she's a great singer, amazing singer. And also, she is the thing I think people are most excited for this movie, one of the aspects. So I do think she is one of the front runners. Jessica Lange, I do feel like that's going to be one of those like legacy nominations. One of an older actress getting it, and I know she's won already, but it's just like, recognizing her again. Saoirse Ronan, and Angelina Jolie, the director, his previous movies for Jackie and Prince Diana. The movies don't really get a lot of nominations, but they always get Best Actress. So he kind of has a track record, and I'm just putting Maria there, Angelina Jolie's performance of Maria there because it's just a stat I have right now that I could fill the spot. And it makes sense. Best Supporting Actor: Austin Butler, Dune 2, Samuel Jackson, The Piano Lesson, Clarence Macklin, Sing Sing, Stanley Tucci, Conclave, Jesse Plemons, Civil War. So Austin Butler is the other actor that I think can get in there. I do think he has, as he's number one right now, he does have a better chance of getting nomination for his role in Dune 2. He's very good, and it's very different from what he's done before. I think that would maybe help him get clinch nomination. So Samuel Jackson for Piano Lessons. When Piano Lessons was on Broadway, he played the same role. I believe he might have got a Tony. I'm not 100% sure. But also, there is track records of people who've played the Broadway version and the movie version. And if the movie, it's a Netflix movie. I feel like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was also based off a play, and it did well for Netflix. They had a good awards campaign, so if they can do this for Piano Lessons, I do think they're going to. I have a feeling this can get a bunch of nominations. Last year, Danielle Brooks did the same thing for The Color Purple. She was in the Broadway version and in the movie version. So I just feel, and it's Samuel Jackson, so I just feel like he is going to be on the list for a little bit, if not all the way to the end. Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing. I heard he's just as good as Colman Domingo, and I don't believe he's an actor actually. Or he's a very new actor, or not in a lot of things. So I feel like they could recognize him because they've done that in the past. Stanley Tucci, Conclave, like I said, with Ralph Fiennes. It's a stacked cast, and these actors are great actors, so I wouldn't be surprised if they got a nomination. And Jesse Plemons, Civil War, like the last category, number 5, could go to a lot of different things as of right now. Jesse Plemons, Civil War, his scene is, I feel like, the most talked about scene since the movie came out, and he's in it for literally 5 minutes, and they've done it before. Even the actress from Network won for Best Supporting Actress for one scene, so it's not like it's a crazy thing. And I do think the Academy loves Jesse Plemons. He got nominated for Power of the Dog, and no one saw that coming. So I feel like he has a lot of things going for him, and I feel like if A24, like I said before, can push this movie in the right direction for awards campaign, they could get a lot of nominations. Even back to actress, yes, the number 5 spot could be Kristen Dunst for Civil War. I feel like those two, Jesse Plemons and Kristen Dunst, are the two more probable ones to get it for acting. Could get more, but I feel like the two are the most strongest cases for it. So we'll have to see. But I do think Jesse Plemons, because his scene, he's only in one scene, and literally is like one of the most talked about scenes of the movie. I feel like he can get a nomination. Best Supporting Actress: Danielle Deadwyler, The Piano Lesson; Isabella Rossellini, Conclave; Anjanou Ellis Taylor, The Nickel Boys; Toni Collette, Juror Number 2; Maria Bakalova, The Apprentice. So Maria Bakalova, like I said, I feel like I'm leaning more towards like they're gonna get some, but it could go either. It could. I don't think it's gonna stay in the middle where only some get it. It's either gonna be like they're gonna get a lot for The Apprentice or not a lot. But Maria Bakalova, I feel like she could do a very good job of towing that line between funny and serious. So I can see her getting nominated. Like I said, though, I feel like Best Supporting Actress has a lot of people who can get in this. Like, it's not just number 5. This categories are very up in the air right now, obviously, because it's April. Danielle Deadwyler, The Piano Lessons. I feel like she's coming back with a vengeance after Till, where she got snubbed. And I think she could be the front runner. So, I mean, like I said, a lot of these movies I haven't even seen or heard a lot about, but I think she has a strong case probably for her to get the nomination. Isabella Rossellini for Conclave is the same, like I said, for Ralph Fiennes and Stanley Tucci. Anjanou Ellis, I've been hearing a lot of things with the Nickel Boys, and I feel like I'm not 100% sure on this, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about the movie and about her in it. And Toni Collette for Jury Number 2, Clint Eastwood's movie. This movie, when we hear more about it, could be a lot more on this list. As of right now, I feel like she is probably going to... As of right now, she's the only person from it, but like I said, they could add a lot more, like Nicholas Hoult, Clint Eastwood for director, Best Picture, Screenplay, all that stuff. We just had to know a little more about it. Also for the acting, I mean, Megalopolis can get a lot of these as well, but it's just for those reasons. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what's happening with that movie. I just can't put it there yet because I also don't know much about the movie. Best Original Screenplay: Sing Sing, Blitz, Kinds of Kindness, Megalopolis, The Apprentice. Megalopolis and The Apprentice, I kind of give my reasons why those are towards the bottom of the list. Kinds of Kindness, I kind of also explained that as well, where I'm not sure if they're going to go all in for another Yorgos Lanthimos movie so soon after Poor Things. And Sing Sing I've heard is incredible, I heard the screenplay is incredible, so I had to go there. And Blitz, I've heard is a great movie as well. And finally, Best Adapted Screenplay: Conclave, The Piano Lessons, Dune Part 2, and The Nickel Boys, Joker 2. Conclave, from what I've heard, they adapted the book very well, like I said before. Piano Lessons, if it goes the Color Purple route, it might not be on here, but I feel like there's been a lot of plays that have gone to movies and done very well at the Oscars. Dune Part 2 is Dune Part 2. The Nickel Boys, like I said, is based off a Pulitzer Prize winning book, and I've heard it's a good adaptation of the book, so I'll have to see for that. And Joker 2, I believe it was nominated for the first one in Best Screenplay, so I feel like I had to put it in the second one. I do think the Academy likes the Joker movies, and it would be the first like comic book movie to like both of them get a lot of awards if it gets a lot of awards, so we'll have to wait and see. But those are the 8 categories that I'm going to do right now. Hopefully as the months go on, I will add categories the more I hear about other movies, and it's a little easier to kind of predict some stuff. But let me know what you thought of these predictions down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Cheers.